Final year JHS students return to school today. They are in to prepare for their BEC. This means that we have university students back in school, final year SHS students and Go Track students back in school, and now the BEC students in the JHS level also back in school. I'm here at the Synod Joy school in Nungwa to find out what the situation is and how prepared they are to keep everyone safe. So all schools that have reopened, or junior high schools that have been made to reopen, have been tasked to adhere to certain protocols and safety measures. I'm here with one of the teachers who also happens to be the head of IT to find out what the school did prior to the students coming and how they are managing to keep everyone safe now that the schools have reopened. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So what were some of the preparatory measures you put in place before the students came in?
All right, thank you. First of all, we had the school fumigated that last Saturday, and then we got the school thermometer gun, and then also we spoke to the children and then we made sure that they provided their face masks, which they are using, and then Veronica buckets was provided, and then hand sanitizer, and then washing. So basically the protocols were observed, and then I think we are good to go.
So knowing that they are children, in quotes, how difficult has it been for you encouraging them to adhere to all the protocols, particularly the social distancing during break and all of those?
All right, for now, we are keeping them in the school. We don't allow them to go out for break. And today being the first day, we might have some few challenges here and there, but I believe with time they are going to get used to the system.
What are some of the challenges so far today?
As in, you coming into school for the first time and then you are being told, okay, so you will not be allowed to go out for break, but you have your break in the classroom and all that. I think it was a surprise to them at first, but now they've gotten their minds conditioned to the situation and they are good to go.
And so for break, you bring the food here for them to buy. How do you manage?
Yeah, we told them that when they come in, they should probably get prepared because they should bring food along. So during break time, they feed, and then after that, they continue with the next 2 hours. We've not been provided with the face masks. So we told them to bring, in case the government does not provide for the school, then we rely on what they are having. So everybody brought his or hers. So that's what you're doing.
So the understanding is the government assured you are a private institution, but you had the assurance that you are going to be given the face mask, both teachers and students.
Yes, please. We were told that students will be provided 3 each, and then the teachers will be given 3 each. But as at now, we've not had it, and so we are finding our own thing, and then I think we are all having, as you can see.
Let's say, in case government does not provide it, it will mean that students would have to provide their own face mask for the duration they are in school.
For now, I think that's what we are doing. We've already spoken to them and they are okay with it for now. But if government provides, it's going to be a plus. At least you have varieties to select from, and I think it will be a good thing. So if the government provides, we'll be happy. But for now, we are providing.
These are not SHS students where some of them will be in the boarding school. They would go back to their houses, mingle with people, come back here. What are you doing? How are you taxing them to ensure that they observe the protocols and also you keep them safe the moment they are entering here? What measures do you take?
Well, I guess that's where the thermometer gun comes in. At least it serves as a first aid to know if whether they are within the right temperature. We use it to check their temperatures, and if they are within range, at least you get a feel that you are okay having students who are not having health issues or something like that. But you cannot be sure because it's just temperature that you are checking. But for now, we are just relying on the thermometer gun as an alarm blower for us so that we'll know whether to call for medical assistance or not.
So in a situation where you have someone who records high temperature or shows symptoms, what do you do? What are the measures that you've put in place to take?
Okay, for now we have a holding room which is in here for security reasons. We are not. But we went for a meeting and we were given numbers to contact in case of any emergency. If, let's say, we check the temperature and it's above the normal, then we have to inform them. But for the time being, we'll keep the person in the holding room whilst we wait for assistance from the medical officers.
So what's in the holding room, since we are not allowed to enter there because of the safety protocols involved? What's in the holding room and who mans the place?
Actually, it's just it's a library for the time being, but for now it's not being used. We converted it to a holding room. So we have a bed, which we were already having for the sick day. So we just transported the bed over there, and then I think that place is spacious enough to keep the person for some time till we get assistance from the medical officers.
This is the final year class of the Synod Joy Preparatory School. They are currently 18 in the class, 18 final year students. The class has been neatly spaced out to observe the social distancing rule as part of safety measures to curb the spread of the COVID-19. And so I'll go around now to speak to some of the students to know how they feel coming back to school in these times. How do you feel, coming back to school in these times to prepare for your final studies, your final exam?
Okay, coming back to school was nice because I came to see my old friends, so they can help me learn more on what I don't know.
How difficult has it been for you? You've been here for close to 3 hours. How difficult has it been for you observing the social distancing protocols? It's been months you saw your friends.
You do not keep, but just to keep the virus. So you need to take this so that we'll avoid it.
How prepared are you for the final exam, knowing that you've been home for months now?
I'm prepared, but not that much prepared.
And so you agree that coming back to school was the best option, or should you have been made to stay home until it was time for your exam?
Yes, coming back to school was amazing. To learn more, add up more knowledge to write my upcoming BC.
And how difficult has it been for you observing the protocols, wearing the masks all the time? Do you feel any discomfort?
No, because I'm used to it, so I don't feel any discomfort with the wearing of the nose mask and observing the social distancing.
It's a few minutes past 1, and final year students across the country are expected to close by this time per the new guidelines that have been set by the Ministry of Education. I am here at the Lekma 4 cluster of schools in Tishi to interact with some of the students and teachers to understand how the day have been for them. It being the first day in about 3 months since schools were shut.
We are supposed to receive 6 items, Veronica buckets, the infrared thermometer guns, soap, tissue paper, and then sanitizers, and then the face masks. And now, over the weekend, we took delivery of almost all except the Veronica buckets. We received enough supply to reach all our schools, both public and then private. In Lejokuku, we have 25 public junior high schools who have registered to write the BEC, and then 116 private junior high schools who have returned. So, we have 141 schools returning. Now, with the face mask, we had 2/3 of the allocation because at the regional office, there wasn't enough supply. So we're made to understand that for now, we'll receive 2/3 of the supplies. That suggests that each people is going to get 2 masks for now. Should there be the subsequent supplies, we'll make them available to the schools. As I speak to you, we've done the distribution to all the public schools. The private schools, at the last count, we've done over 60. The rest are still around taking their stock. The Veronica buckets, we had the understanding that they'll be in today. And when I checked, I think we're getting about 50 in so far. We are waiting for the rest. We are supposed to take about 336. But we are hoping that by the close of the day, we'll get the full complement. Then we can give them out. But for the remaining 5 items, the masks, the soap, the paper, the sanitizers, and then the masks, they've all been given out to the schools. And then also the sanitizers, we are expecting 5,181, but we have 5,160. I think that's almost the same number. And then the soap, out of the 672, we've received 490. So at least each school is getting about not less than 2-3 gallons. Yes. Then the thermochemical gallons, we have enough. Out of the 307, we have 280. So at least each school will get not less than 2 to start with. And then the soap to at least each school is getting not less than 2 gallons. So in all, it's good. It's looking good. We are hoping that before the close of the week, that's the promise that we had over the weekend, the remaining supplies will come through, that we can let them out to the schools. And now the issue is the Veronica buckets. But we're already doing some hand washing in the schools before the advent of the COVID. So the schools have some Veronica buckets and hand washing facilities which they can still use. We are expecting 336 pieces of the Veronica buckets. Hopefully by close of day, that's the promise that we're giving. So we are hoping that by the close of the day we should get the 336 pieces. Even if you are not able to get all, we get half, quickly we can let it out to the schools. These ones that are coming are only coming to supplement what they already have in the schools. Not only that, some schools have what you call the tippy taps. It's just an appropriate technology. It economizes the use of water through the use of gallons. You just mount a stance and then you just hinge it, and then the people step on the lever, then it measures the amount of water that flows out. So the schools also have it. Even just on the compound, there's one around which they are using. So we can say for sure that as for the hand washing facilities, they have them pending the arrival of the supplies. We are positive about that. We have 3,000, a little over 3,500 in Lejokuku right in the BC. With the guidelines that were given on my rounds today, some schools have about 34 candidates. So 34 by the guidelines, we can't keep the 34 in the class. So some are split 15, 19, and the like. So my rounds, not a single class has more than 30. Some have even 20, 25 in the class. In my interaction with the teachers, we did stress that. I think the President and the Minister, His Excellency and the Minister, Honorable Minister also did mention that for the senior school, they should assign a block to be in charge of such things. For the basic schools, we have at least 2 classrooms or a class as an isolation room or isolation rooms, as the case may be, so that where there's a suspected case, the pupils can then be isolated for further referral to the nearest facility. So that has been done. Each school is having at least 2 isolation classrooms available. Where the classrooms are available, they have to. Where they don't have, they have 1. So for a single stream school like this, where they have an enrollment of about 35, 40, they split their class. So they have 2 classrooms. So there's 1 classroom available to be used as an isolation center. It's just a normal classroom. It has been a classroom. So once it's a classroom, it's not like a bed. It's not like there's a bed. No. It's with the senior high schools where they have the dormitories that you can have the beds. But what we are trying to do is to encourage the teachers to at least make some mattresses available, where possible, make mattresses available so that where there's a case like that, the child can lie. They are not supposed to go out on break. They are supposed to do everything in the classroom. The only time they can go out is when they want to attend to nature's call. But drinking water, their snack break, everything is going to be in the classroom. We encourage them to eat before they come to school. Where they have to snack, it will be in the classroom. Now, immediately you give them the chance to go out of the classroom, the likelihood of them interacting and clustering is very high. We told the parents to ensure that the children eat before coming to school. So far, we don't have any report. This is the first day anyway. Any reported case of a child coming to school without eating. As the days roll on, we will see whether some will come without it. But we encourage as many as possible to eat before coming to school. That's why we are starting at 9, so that it gives them time to eat properly before they come to school. They can come along with some fruits, some snacks during the small, short breaks. They can take in those things before the lessons continue.
So I have with me 2 students of the LECMA for JHS. It's one of the schools that form the cluster here in Tishi, southern zone. I have with me Mahama and Stephen, right? Simon, how's your first day in school like after almost 3 months of being at home?
Oh, yeah, bye. Sana, what way I are not quiet. Am I through? Say, paper square beer, ye name so we will be. And say, ye corner, ye any adam for crown, you're supposed any adam for crown, but ye don't benam, nam sa COVID-19. The abang, she shall know my and a disuka.
And do you feel confident that the measures that have been put in place will protect you?
Yes.
So today, what were the measures you saw in place?
To wash our hands and put our nose masks and wash our hands with sanitizer, hand sanitizer.
So those were the measures that were very much enforced today. And for you, Mama, how was your first day in school experience like after 3 months being out?
Oh, everything is cool because I see my friends long time ago. So today the government said I should come to school today. So I see my new friends and teacher said that we should sit in measurement distance. Yeah. So they give us nose mask and sanitizer to protect ourselves from the disease.
How many nose masks did they give you?
Oh, me, I got two nose masks.
Okay.
Yes, and sanitizer.
Okay, and for you, how difficult was it observing the protocols? Because I know how at this stage you want to play with your friends and all of that, but I understand even during the break you were made to sit in class. How difficult has it been having to observe all the protocols?
Oh, it's difficult for me because maybe I have less money to eat. Then my money has run off, so I want to go home, but there is no chance for me. So I must sit unless everything is over, then I'll move to home. Yeah, so it's difficult for me.
And so what do? You are told to eat before you come, and then till you close, you are not allowed to. How does it work out for you?
Okay, they say we should eat at home. Everything we should be certified before we come. Should bring water and fruits, so that if it is break, we can eat our fruit and drink our water. Then move to everything.
And for the COVID-19 measures, are you satisfied with what you've seen? What were some of the measures you observed today?
Oh, it's a lot, because the teachers has give us many advice how to prevent ourselves, how to move with our friends. Yeah, so it's a lot.
Including yes. What? I mean, name them.
Okay, they said we should sit in distance. To stop begging for water or food. Yes, to stop sharing nose mask. Stop shaking hands. Yes, should not touch our nose and our mouth. Yes.
So the whole of today you haven't done any of the things you are talking about, are you sure?
Oh, I mean, I've done a lot because I've touched my nose. Because if I can't be free comfortable. So by all means I've touched my nose.
And are you sure you've applied your sanitizer too?
Yes, please. I have some here.
Okay. Was it distributed or this your personal?
This is my personal one.
Okay. And for you, also, we are concluding, okay, with your nose mask on and all that. How difficult has it been for you sitting in class for hours with your nose mask on?
I can't breathe. It's too difficult for me. And so, what the government have said, and so we have to do it.
How confident are you going into the BEC, knowing that you've been home all this while? Will it affect you?
Yeah, because you can't study. And
at home, eh?
Yes. So it's difficult for us. And so we beg the government to give us more time to learn.
You want more time to learn?
Yeah.
Okay, and so these have been two students of the LECMA 4 JHS here within the Southern Cluster of Schools. I have also met the integrated science teacher at the LECMA 4 JHS within the Southern Cluster of Schools, John Elvis Ablampa. Just to understand from the teacher's perspective how the day has gone. Say, how was today for you, being the first day?
Oh, it was just cool because I see it as normal. As a teacher, you always have to at least use radio material that we are going to use to teach the children. And for a long time, most of them have not been seeing them. So, as school reopened today, I'm glad I'm able to see how well my students are.
Okay. That's nice to know, and of course, you know, it's not normal times that we are in. How difficult has it been for you to adjust? I mean, wearing the nose masks. In fact, do you wear the nose masks to teach throughout?
No, today, actually, it's been not intense teaching here, but we've been giving the children the guidelines which they should follow to make the class enjoyable.
So it hasn't been so tedious for you, even with the nose masks on?
Yes.
Going forward, as a teacher, do you feel confident with the safety measures that have been put in place within the school and for you personally?
Oh yeah, because it's a rule that had come to us. I was observing this when I was in the house, so I see it as normal. And when you are able to adjust to situations and things that come your way, you are able to see through easily.
So what are some of the measures that have been put in place for you? So for you, for instance, marking exam scripts and all of those things, some teachers have raised concerns. What are some of the measures you've put in place here in your school for teachers?
Oh, actually, we are to guide the children towards their impending exams. So they should put on their nose masks, observe the hand washing with soap and water, and clean the water off and then applying the sanitizer. These things are some of the things that when we apply, it will help us in the long run.
As a teacher, you feel confident with the measures that have been put in place?
Oh yes. You know, a rule or a law is made for you to abide by. So when you are following the laws, you just have to feel confident and then move through. The body is said that what you teach the body to do, that's what.
You are indeed an inter-science teacher. So there has been an interaction with some of the teachers, teacher and students here at the Lekma 4 JHS, part of the cluster of schools in the southern sector here in Teshi. They say they feel very confident with the measures that have been put in place and are sure that everything is going to go as planned. For ABC News from the cluster of schools in Teshi, my name is Jonah Iledi.